let's talk a bit about equipment. I have to generalize enormously here because, I mean, I make adventure travel films. I travel a lot. I'm in airplanes, I'm in vehicles, I'm in remote destinations, and I'm mostly outdoors. What do I use? I've got to keep things fast, simple, hassle-free. Very different from somebody, for example, doing a YouTube channel in a studio, or one focusing on surfing or skiing. These differ enormously, so therefore I have to generalize, but I will share with you what I have learned. You can make a YouTube channel using a phone. There's nothing wrong with it. The quality of a modern phone is good enough. Now, question. If you're shooting with a phone, should you hold it like this or like this? Okay, simple answer to that. Look at your TV. Is it mounted on the wall like this, or is it like this? Is your laptop standing sideways or like this? The only time that footage shot like this is any use to anybody if it's viewed like this on a mobile. Otherwise, like this. So, short answer, like this, always. Never shoot like this, okay? Because this footage can be used both. But this footage, well, you can, but you have those big bands at the side of it. It looks very ugly. And, okay? A lot of my work requires good cameras, good lenses, because I'm looking for cinematography. I'm looking for beautiful images. That's part of what I do. And if your channel is the same, you're looking for, you know, lots of really gorgeous images as part of the content, then I would recommend a digital single lens reflex camera. You can go as far as one of the very expensive video cameras. Sony makes some fine ones, Canon makes some fine ones, Panasonic makes some good ones. But they are, for my liking, there's a high hassle factor in them because they're big, they're bulky, they're cumbersome in many respects, and really handheld can be awkward. But I just prefer keeping things light, keeping things small, and using mirrorless. Now, the advantage over mirrorless over digital single lens reflex in terms of picture quality, there's nothing really in it. You can argue about it if you're a fanboy and over Canon and Sony and Nikon or whatever. I'm not. I couldn't care less. I'm an equipment fanboy. I like equipment that works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I don't care what's written on the front. I'm really not interested. But I am interested in the advantage mirrorless have over reflex. Now, this is an important thing. These cameras are designed for stills. They're not really designed for video. But yet they shoot such gorgeous video quality, better than most video cameras. A lot better than most video cameras. So for cost, this is the way to go if you're looking for gorgeous images. This is far cheaper than a really good video camera, and this is the same price as quite a mediocre video camera. And I'm talking about manufacturers like Sony produce some video cameras worth, you know, $4,000-ish, and they shoot this. I promise you, this shoots better video than its equivalent value in video camera by a long way. And of course, these cameras, I can put different lenses on them. I have the versatility of that. These particular cameras, these are Sony's. They can shoot full frame and cropped sensor, which makes them very versatile. The way to choose whether you go mirrorless or digital single lens reflex is about how the image is viewed. Now, when on live view, a reflex camera, the one with the mirror goes up, no image through the viewfinder, only an image on the back. Do not suppose that you can shoot with just an image on the back. You can, but you won't get good results. And the reason is quite simple. If I look at this here, When you walk around and you go down some stairs, the whole world doesn't shake as you shake down the stairs or running along a pavement or something, does it? The world actually stays quite smooth because your eyes are wonderful at compensating for shaking. And you can still see everything absolutely clearly. Well, that's a problem for a photographer, because here, if I look at that image there and I move that around, my eye is actually focused on that picture, and I don't really notice that it's shaking. It doesn't actually look as if it's shaking at all. I promise you, if I took that footage now and looked at it, it would be unusable because it would be so jerky, because your eye is compensating at the screen. So when you're shooting like this and you've got shaky footage, your eye is busy compensating. You don't see the shake until you put it on your computer screen and you realize, oh, the footage is useless. Okay, so really, you can't shoot like this. You just can't do it. I've seen big professional rigs like this. Okay, it's fine if you're set up. It's fine if you're on a studio. It's fine if you're on a tripod. Then you can set up and frame your shot. But if you're outside grabbing footage, forget it. You won't be able to focus quickly. You won't be able to know what's in the frame. You won't see the jerk, the shake. Okay, and you won't be able to frame it accurately. You have to put it to your eye. Now, the reflex cameras with the mirror, they have a cutoff, so you can't use the viewfinder. You can only see the back, and to put it to your eye, then you have to add a loop, a magnifier, and it clips onto the back. Only then can you use a digital single lens reflex camera for video with a loop on the back. Otherwise, it has to be on a tripod, and it's very bad for shooting off the hip. It's just bad for it. You need a tripod. 1, 2, 3. Now I can hold it steady. Now I can see my image clearly. Now I will see the shake. I will see focus differences. If I'm using long lenses or wide aperture lenses for beautiful depth of field, which you can get with these cameras easily, less so with a video camera, big sensors mean the depth of field, lovely bokeh, out of focus backgrounds, etc., etc. You cannot do it like that. You have to have a viewfinder. So now I've got all of the advantages that I need. Okay, so that's one of the advantages of a mirrorless camera. You can get a loop and put it on the back of a reflex camera, and they work, and it works well. But it's cumbersome, it's tricky, and so I have gone the mirrorless route because of that. And all in all, mirrorless are a little better at shooting video than reflex. And as I said, those are really I use those as my primary content gatherer for the beauty shots, but I use them for much more than that. One of the alternatives that is worth thinking about are these inexpensive camcorders. Now, the beauty of a camcorder such as this, again, if the camcorder you're thinking of purchasing doesn't have a viewfinder, way of looking through the viewfinder, then take it off the list. You need that. You cannot rely on that because of exactly the same thing. You can't. You can use that for reference, and you use that for shooting. Okay. The other part about when thinking about cameras and what to use and what to buy, at the very, very top of your list should be, does the camera accept external microphones? Yes or no? If the answer is no, remove it from your list. This has a microphone. This has a microphone. Even a GoPro has a microphone. They are terrible. They are useless and terrible. You cannot rely on them to the smallest degree. And recording it separately on a separate machine, yes, you can do that. It has a huge hassle factor. Huge. Way beyond. No camera is that good that is worth the hassle of recording audio separately, because then you have to do clapper boards, clap, sync, mark. It's a production. Okay, so really, that should be at the top of the list. If it cannot take an external microphone, or the microphones, I'll go through microphones in a separate video, because capturing good audio, dare I say it, is more important than capturing good video. Okay, really important, vital, 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 vital. We'll get back to that. I have some microphones here. All right. I'm not going to go into lenses and things like that. That goes a little bit further. I'm going to, as I said, I'm generalizing in terms of cameras and things like that, which brings me on to a great tool for the selfie vlogger YouTuber. These modern cameras that are gimbal cameras. This particular one is the Osmo, the DJI Osmo. It's a, come on, wake up. There you go. I didn't unlock it properly. The great part about gimbal cameras is that when you're moving around, everything remains smooth, because as you can see here, all right, as you can see here, that stays level. This particular mount I made, it's a GoPro mount with a DJI arm. I've combined the two, and that fits onto my vehicle windscreen, and then when I want to get a shot of me talking to camera while I'm in my vehicle, it's all wired up. It has an external audio connector. I can connect it to the microphone, which is actually up there, separate microphone up there. The audio capabilities of this particular camera is not very good. It's mono. The quality is not great. Picture quality is quite good, but not great. Nothing compared to this. Not even close. Okay, not even as good as an inexpensive video camera. But its hassle factor is very low. And the thing is with this particular one, its shortcoming is that to link it to my phone, I can actually link it to my phone and get the image on my phone. It's a bit of a hassle to, sometimes when you're out there vlogging, you just want to grab footage. So what I've learned to do with this is I point it at myself and I go for it. I'm just pointing it at myself. And then if I move around, it stays stable. So these things really do have a very, they're very versatile. One thing that I thought of is that I'm shooting now my content with a number of different cameras, and I always, well, let's put it this way, let's put it this way, I don't use auto white balance. Each camera will interpret the white differently. So getting auto white balance is only used in an environment where I have multiple light sources. For example, in this room, I've used auto white balance. I've got incandescent, I've got a lot of daylight coming in. I've got a mix of color temperatures. I've told the camera, sort it out. When you're outside, no matter what camera you're using, you tell the camera, I'm outside. Otherwise it'll guess. And if you'll be shooting a beautiful orange sunset, and the camera will think, he's gone inside and turned on incandescent lights and remove a lot of the color. Okay, auto white balance is the enemy to good cinematography outside. More people should actually know that. I never use auto white balance unless specifically I have a mixed light source. Okay, and that goes with all my cameras. Okay, I'll set it on daylight, and I will also find that they'll never match perfectly. Even my one Sony and the other Sony shooting this don't match each other absolutely perfectly. Close, but not exactly the same. That you can do in post. Action cameras. I carry, I still like the GoPros. I have a love-hate relationship with them, really. Lousy sound. They've messed up the whole system with the recording sound in it. They don't think sound's important. They think they do because they've tried a few things. I can't put an external microphone onto this now. Well, I can, but not easily. Anyway, I rant. Box of clips for mounting the GoPro anywhere. And of course, GoPros are wonderful for those mounting in those places where an ordinary camera would get damaged. So action cameras definitely have their place. I would now bring out a drone. I'm not going to bring out my drone. That's a separate subject, and we will talk about it in this course. I have my own feelings. I think drones later. Right. Batteries, of course. Battery charging. Do we need to go into that? Not really, because, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. But I do want to mention the selfie stick. A lot of selfie sticks are of extremely poor quality. They come out of China with no thought to the way they're designed, and they don't last. But this is one that is really good. It's called a Gorilla. It can be wrapped around a table leg with a camera on it. It can be used as a selfie stick. It can be used for 100 different ones. And if you quickly want to put it down and mount a camera on it and point it at yourself, you can. Parada. Okay. They are nice. They are a really, really good thing to have as for a self-shooting YouTuber. Next video, we're going to start talking about microphones and the capture of audio content.